through the city, yeah, you know I keep my dime riding with me while I'm these
high. Yeah. Cause I don't know how live we are right now, boy. Hey, look. Today the Texans were eliminated from the playoffs. We ended up getting beat 28-16 by Drake May in the New England Patriots.
Drake?
And they played a good game. You gotta shake their hands because they did play a good game. They got over the 17 points that we typically allow per game, and at no fault of our defense at all. Look, bro, it's a lot here. It's a lot here. Since it's the end of the season, this might be the last Texans video for a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so. There's several reasons why we lost, but I'll let you start. Why did we lose, bro?
I want to blame injuries. I want to blame the weather. I want to blame all kinds of stuff, bro.
It's a lot of it. Let's start with the weather. At the beginning of the game, I don't know how cold it was, but I know it was extremely cold. At the beginning of the game, you had cold rain coming down, so they playing on slick turf. They playing on wet grass. Then later on in the game, towards the second half of the game, it started snowing. There was almost a snow blizzard coming down, which that makes it harder to throw balls, catch balls. Once it's slippery, it's wet. That can affect how you play because it'll affect your traction. And so we had a lot of that going on. And when you go against a team like New England, who that's their home stadium, they play in those conditions, several times a season. So when you play against a team like that, then it'll affect you more than it affects them.
Yeah,
so
1,000%.
I want to talk about that. That was a thing.
It's funny because my wife said that. She said, "Why can't we play in Houston?" I said, because they was a second seed, so we had to play there.
That's cute. I wish we could have played.
Yeah, women. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what I said.
You don't think we wanted to play in Houston?
Because I was gonna say, I ain't gonna lie to you. What's his name? Booty. Is that how they say it? That, bro. He didn't look like he had any problem with the weather conditions whatsoever.
Yeah. He been playing out there.
Yeah, bro. He had 75 receiving yards, and Higgins had 59. Another reason why I think we lost is Woody Marks had 17 yards. I need to make sure that's not a typo.
On 14 carries.
Yeah, bro.
When you talk about when you talk about the run game, I was very clear when I said it before that if we haven't had the running game that we needed for most of the season to keep CJ from throwing some of the passes that he had been throwing. Yeah. And we end up in third and long. We ended up second and long on so many downs because you gave the ball to Woody Marks and 14 times, and he ended up with only 17 yards total. He was going backwards at times, and I don't blame him. What I blame is the injuries to the line. Yeah. We had 3 injuries to the line, one of them which happened in that game where we lost Titus Howard.
When Titus went down, bro, I was like, dang, dog.
Yeah, that's when the pressure started coming for CJ. When he lost that third lineman during the game, that's when the pressure really started coming for CJ, and it was hard to move the ball under that pressure. It was hard to win on first down on the ground. And, bro, the run game, bro.
So injuries,
it's the run game. That's your boy.
Yeah, I guess.
That's your guy.
Yeah. Hey, man,
you gotta explain.
I still stand by Jaquavius, bro. Because if you want me to be honest, we talked about the weather. We said that, so the weather was a problem. We talked about the injuries. You named the injuries. So let's
injuries.
Let's unravel that first before we get into the third thing that I wanted to say. But you got Nico Collins down. You got
Nico. Wait. Stop there. When you talk about Nico Collins and I guess Dalton Schultz, when you look at some of the arid passes that happened, or some of the times the pass was thrown and simply not caught. Yeah. You gotta, although the conditions had a lot to do with that, the weather, you gotta think about how many times did you sit there and think that Nico would have came down with that? Yeah, Nico would have got open right there. Dalton Schultz would have came down with that 15, pass. 20. He would have got that first down.
Keynote, not only Dalton Schultz got hurt, but Cade Stover, our backup that was right behind him, got hurt too. he went down. He looked like he tore his ACL the way he fell. I was like, oh. And he dropped a crucial pass where I feel like he would have took it for
that's what I was gonna
15
say.
or 20, bro. Like,
that's what I was gonna say. Even before he was out, I saw him drop some passes in my head, I'm thinking, dang, Nico or Dalton Schultz, they would have caught that. Down, what else you got on the injuries?
Who else went down? Was that it, bro? Nico.
The Nico Autry was out.
Yeah, Autry was out.
Trent Brown, Justin Watson. Jawar Jordan too. You couldn't go to your other elusive back because he was injured. Yeah, man. Sheldon Rankins, and then Kamari Lassiter had a game out there, even though he was playing with an injury. Aziz Al-Shaair had a game out there playing with an injury. We was banged up,
Go ahead and say it. Will Anderson had a game.
Yeah. Let's go to the defense
game of his life, bro. What do you have? 3 sacks?
Let's go to the defense then.
3 sacks. There was a couple forced fumbles, bro.
That's what I was going to. There was some. I think he fumbled the ball 4 times between Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter, your boy. They ended up getting 4 fumbles on Drake May. Drake May ain't had 4 fumbles all season,
and still lost the game. Usually, you see a team with those stats on defense, they're getting the dub, bro.
I was going to say there was one point where when we wasn't able to score the ball and they made him fumble the ball and it was going forward, Aziz Al-Shaair picked it up. And matter of fact, Aziz Al-Shaair jumped on it. When in my head, I was thinking, yo, we desperately need a defensive touchdown to close this gap. I was thinking he should have tried to scoop and take that to the house. But again, if you try to scoop it, there's a good chance, a 50-50 chance that you end up not getting it. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a couple of them that I think he forced that it was like the offense could have jumped or the defense could have jumped on it, but it was a bunch of fumbling around. It's slippery. It's a blizzard out there. That's the other thing you got to think about. I said, so injuries, game conditions, bro. And what's wild is like our stats are still like, it's not like we was getting like crushed. 241 yards total yards versus their 248. Now the turnovers is the problem.
Yeah.
We already highlighted the defense. Will Anderson had a game. Daniil Hunter, he's still, even though you didn't see him on the stat line, he had a game. I will say this, and I think we don't talk about this because we said lockdown corners. Stingley, maybe the conditions were different, but I feel like Stingley was getting targeted on that side. Why last year was holding this side game? Yeah, he wasn't not the whole game. No.
But Butte, he ended up making one of the coldest catches that I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, I can't believe it. I don't blame Stingley for it because Stingley is there where he's supposed to be.
No, that was good defense.
Bruh,
that was good defense. Yeah.
He reached out there with one hand and brought that thing in, landed, hit the ground, inbounds. Bruh, that was one of the best catches I had ever seen. If I wasn't watching them do that against us, I would have been excited about being there to watch that live. But
we're really only talking about what, 21 points that they allowed, because I know it's 28, but one of those is a pick 6. So
let's talk about it. I wanna break down CJ Stroud's 4 interceptions. Now, for starters, let's talk about what it's like to be in those situations. This is a high leverage game, and everything that could go wrong went wrong for CJ Stroud through that game. Bro. And I know it had to be. This was the worst game of his career, and at a very terrible time for it to happen. But being a young quarterback, I think you got to go through it. I've seen terrible games, and I've heard about terrible games at the beginning of the careers of some all-time great Hall of Famers. Yeah. And so him going through it, I think that's growth right there. But I made the mistake last week of telling you that it wasn't going to get no worse than it was against the Steelers.
Great. Bro, like, I just needed average. That wasn't even average. It was just, like you said, that was probably one of the worst games of his career.
No, that had to have been his worst game of his career. I don't
but
think
he's still outperformed. He still outperformed Drake May when it comes to passing yards, 212 to 179. And I'm guessing because Drake May didn't really need to do a whole lot. He just needed to be average.
Yeah, he just had to be a game manager, and that's what he did. Let's talk about the interception.